Welcome to this first event that we're having to show off some of the properties that we have here in our fair downtown that are part of our urban revitalization plan. So a few years ago, 18 months really, we started at looking at all the different plans that had been done in downtown Brockton, and we tried to see what needed to happen to make these things work. And I think sitting down with mass development, you know, we really saw that you need to have the other tools. It's not just the vision that makes a project happen. It's the tools that go along with that. And so we applied and were granted a TDI initiative, Transformative Development Initiative District here in downtown Brockton. And we were able to leverage some resources, and we put together an action strategy that prioritizes what we need to do to make something happen here in downtown. But we also created an urban renewal district to give us the authority to implement that vision. We also created a district improvement financing initiative, DIF, to help fund that vision and to make some of those things happen. So we're really happy to have you here now as we kick off what I hope is going to be a very strong year for development here in Brockton. We'll be hearing from the mayor in just a second, and from Marty Jones, the CEO of Mass Development, and then we'll hear from two of our existing development partners, Trinity Financial and Capstone Communities. And from there, we'll take a little tour of downtown. Now, in the far end of the room, we have a table with some property sheets on it. They'll talk about some of the properties that we're going to be visiting this afternoon. But in the meantime, if you give your attention, I'd like to introduce Mayor Bill Carpenter of the City of Brockton.
Well, it's exciting to have such a big turnout here today for today's open house. I know I should have gone before Rob because he used all the good material now. But it's interesting where we're standing here. Think about where we're standing right now. We are in our 40R Smart Growth District because we know we're all about transit-oriented development here. We're also standing in our DIF district, so that incremental increases in property tax revenue are going to be reinvested right here. We're going to show the commitment from the government side that we're going to reinvest in infrastructure to leverage private investment in the same district. We're standing here in our HDIP, which is very attractive now in gateway cities to develop market rate housing, because we know what we have here in downtown Brockton is an opportunity to develop both market rate and workforce housing. And we just think we are the most uniquely positioned city in the Commonwealth right now where to do that. First of all, workforce housing and market rate housing are basically the same thing here in Brockton. The numbers are extremely close. Might be $100 a month difference. It's almost the same thing. Makes it very unique here. But also, what I know we have to offer is a 30-minute train ride to South Station. Commuter rail, walking distance, exactly 30 minutes to South Station. You can set your watch to it. And I know that this is the most affordable place to live that's a 30-minute train ride from downtown Boston anywhere in Massachusetts, and that's what we have to offer here. So I think that our economic development team, led by Rob, with the resources that Mass Development has brought in, all of our partners here in Brockton, over the past couple of years, we've put all the pieces in place. We have the urban revitalization plan here. The HDIP opportunity now, 25% tax credit to build market rate housing in a gateway city like Brockton. New Bedford and Fall River are not a 30-minute train ride into South Station. Brockton is. It's really uniquely positioned here. So all the pieces have been put in place. Marty, we appreciate the investments that Mass Development continues to make in Brockton. The TDI was very important to us, bringing us consulting resources at first, and then George Duarte, our TDI fellow, who's become a very important member of our team here, redeveloping downtown Brockton, has just continued to add and build to our team. So we're excited to have all of you here. I don't want to take much time because I want you to see some of the opportunities, because there are about a dozen great redevelopment opportunities within 2 blocks of where we're standing. So I hope you'll take a chance to look into them. I hope we can work with you. And I will tell you personally, as a city, as an administration, we're here to help you get to yes. We're here to help you make a deal to redevelop downtown Brockton. So thank you for being here with us.
As the mayor said, we've had a lot of work going on in downtown, and we really do value the partnership that we have with Mass Development. I can safely say that we would be several years behind the curve if we didn't have their assistance, their leadership, and our ability to leverage the resources with them to make these things happen. So I would like to now ask Marty Jones to come to the podium, microphone, and give a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob, and thank you, Mr. Mayor. It is always great to be in the City of Champions, especially when we're championing the hard work of the city and all of you to revitalize downtown Brockton. I hope all of you know that Mass Development is the state's finance and economic development authority. Our mission is to grow the Commonwealth, and we use lots of different tools to do that for businesses, nonprofits, developers, and communities. What we're talking about today here is mostly our work in the Transformative Development Initiative. This was started back in 2014. It's funded by a combination of Mass Development funding and Commonwealth funding. I do want to acknowledge the strong support of the Baker-Polito administration, and especially Secretary Ash, who chairs our board, for their support of this important initiative in gateway cities. And the legislature has been a critical part of this. I know we have a representative from Senator Brady's office today. The Gateway City Caucus is an amazing partner for Mass Development in advocating for great programs that help communities like Brockton and help us do creative work like this. So through Transformative Development Initiative, we look at partnerships, strategic vision, community engagement, and a whole lot of hard work to begin to move the needle in specific districts in our Commonwealth. This district has really benefited from the great work and vision of the mayor and Rob, your work that you talked about in developing the plan, and certainly the Redevelopment Authority, Robert, your work here. They've all been great partners in setting out the vision for what's going to happen here. How many people in the room are part of the TDI partnership? Okay, we got a few of you. Great. Thank you so much for your work. It's really important. We've got a broad-based group of people, and anybody who wants to join the team, we would love to have more people engaged in all that work. Short stop. Okay, great. I do want to also acknowledge George Durante. George is what we call a TDI fellow. That means he's a Mass Development staff person assigned here to Brockton for 3 years. He's here to be on the ground, walking around, making connections, and doing whatever we can to help implement the plan. So George is a really important part of the concept and the work happening here. Over the years, Mass Development has also spent a lot of time and had the opportunity to help a lot of deals in this city through our various tools. The health center across the street, we did the financing for that, and I think everybody agrees that's a great asset to downtown. We were just at a groundbreaking for market rate housing at 47 Pleasant Street. I don't know if Joffrey's here. Yes, congratulations. The deal is underway. We're thrilled to be able to finance that, and everybody I know will be sidewalk superintendents over the next, he did say 9 months, getting it done. So we're really excited about being able to help out on that deal. This building we're in, the Enterprise Block, we were a part of that with Trinity Financial. I think we're going to hear from Matt a little later talking about the opportunities here. And also Jason Korb, you're going to hear from him from Station Lofts Mixed Income Development just a block away. So we've had a great experience working with a variety of developers here. We've got lots of resources to help those of you who have not worked with us do the same kind of thing and have the same kind of success. I do want to thank our Mass Development team. We're actually lucky enough to have here Jim Blake. Where's Jim? Jim, you guys can claim him as president of Harbor One. We can claim him as a member of our board of directors. So we're thrilled to have Jim with us here today. Also from our Fall River office, Joe Grivers and Paul Moran and Jim Walsh are here, and I've got business development folks, Ken Good, and just started this week, Mariana, where's you? So please, everybody, seek out a Mass Development person if you'd like more information. I do want to note that 2 weeks ago we lost a really important part of our team. Larry Cameron in our Fall River office for 15 years was a really important part of our work here in Brockton. We will all remember him for his team spirit and championing deals and being around the table to make them happen. Last week at his wake, I understand that members of our staff met 2 Brockton residents who said that since Larry devoted so much of his time to working in Brockton, they felt the least they could do was to make the 50-minute drive down to his services in Dartmouth. We certainly miss Larry. I know he would have had a great time here in the room, and I just want to acknowledge his great contributions to both Mass Development and the City of Brockton. So I think I have probably said more than enough. I do want to make sure there's time for people to talk, get ideas, walk around, and see what's happening in the neighborhood. So thanks, everybody, for coming, and we'll talk.
Looking around downtown, I can think of a lot of things that are happening and a lot of things that will be happening. But as we work on this plan, if you look at, a vision without investment is just a pretty picture. And communities across America have developed pretty pictures, but you need to have somebody working with you with the private sector, making those investments, making those deals happen. And so I'd like to introduce Jason Korb is our first penguin. If you watch the Discovery Channel, there's always one penguin that did push off the iceberg to see if it's okay. Jason was our first penguin. So, Jason, if you'd like to come up and say a few words about how wonderful it was working with the city.
Thanks. Thank you, Rob. Thank you for all of you for being here. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Marty. I kind of was the first penguin to fall off the iceberg, actually. I think I was the first one downtown to break ground, soon after Brophy Phillips broke ground as well. My experience in Brockton was fantastic. Just a really quick background on myself. I was at Beacon Communities for many years, and then I had this crazy idea to leave, and my wife, I got her on a good day. She's like, go for it. And so I set up shop in an architect's firm next to a plotter, and I found this building in Brockton. I had never been to Brockton. So I drove down and looked at it, and a week or two later, I put it under agreement, and then it was like, oh my God, what have I done? And to kind of fast forward, we got permitted and funded, and none of that would have happened without the incredible support of the community in the city. Not only does the city support the development, but they supported me as an entrepreneur. And this project literally was sort of the stepping stone for the growth of my company. So without it, I never would have gotten into the next deal, into the next deal. I really believe in downtown Brockton, and I do think collaboration is kind of what transcends all of the developments that go on down here. Matt Zoller from Trinity has become one of my good friends. I call him up and I say, Matt, I have a vacancy. What are you charging for rent? And he gives me the information, and vice versa. And Joffrey's called me a number of times, and I've tried to be helpful with him as well. So I think the message is we're all collaborating down here. There's a lot of exciting opportunities down here that you won't see in other cities. And to echo what the mayor said, we're a 30-minute train ride to South Station, which is kind of the station where you want to be. We have a lot of residents at Station Lofts. We have 25 mixed-income apartments. It's an old historic mill building. It was actually Brockton's first brick shoe factory. And the catcher's mitt is rumored to have been invented in my building. So Brockton has this really interesting history. We had a resident that came into the building one day and said, I feel like I'm on HGTV, And there's no better compliment than that. I have a bunch of cards on me too. I'm happy to help anybody here. The city is also happy to help people. In addition to building, I think, a great building, I've also made really great friends here too. I see them, and I'm looking at a lot of them as well now. So welcome, and I'm here to answer any questions as well. So thank you.
Thank you. And before we follow up with Matt, I do want to acknowledge we have some other development and investment partners here. Ted Carmen and John are working on the 93 Center Street, the Algram building. It's the 9-story building at the end of the block here and overlooking the train station. NeighborWorks is here. They're working on a project at 121 Main Street. And again, Joffrey with his building at 47 Pleasant. Am I forgetting anybody? And then Robert has a whole fistful of properties that we've just transferred over to him. As you know, redevelopment authorities have a lot more breathing room and ability to get projects done as opposed to the gritty process of trying to work with a government, although I am here to help. So I would like to then introduce Matt Zoller, who is a representing a major investment partner here in downtown, Trinity Financial. We are in Trinity Center, and I'll let him talk about the project that we have going here. And the other huge investment opportunity or investment that's going to be happening is a new parking garage directly behind this building that's going to help leverage redevelopment of other properties downtown. So, Matt, if you want to talk about your project and phase 2 also.
Thanks, Rob. Hi, everybody. How's it going today? Good. Yeah, so we're excited to be in Brockton. Thank you to the mayor's office and Rob's staff and Robert's staff and everybody in the city that's kind of made this possible for us. It's really hard to come into a city and do a large mixed-use redevelopment, but the city of Brockton made that easy for us. So plenty of tools at our fingertips. We started back in 2011 with this project, and it was complicated. It was challenging. It's approximately 200 units of housing, 50,000 square feet of office, and then parking to accommodate that and other office uses in and around the downtown. So the first phase, it's a $100 million project total. The first phase represents about $60 million in investment. We built 113 units here behind me at what we call Center 50 Enzo Flats. We have an artist live-work component there. We also have a 3,000 square foot gallery that's become a great community space here within the city of Brockton. We also did the rehabilitation of the Korean-Vietnam Memorial Park. So, as a benefit to the community and to the city, a place to gather, a place to feel that, the revitalization is happening. And you can see it through this building, the former home of the Enterprise newspaper, which we rehabilitated back to its historic roots, so the facade. And now we're working to get it leased up, and we have a lot of interest here. So because of the city and the city council, members of the city council, members of the business community, we're a united front here. We're all working together to get more reinvestment in downtown Brockton. And Mass Development has been a huge partner in that. And so you can't shut the spigot off. You got to keep it going, and that's what's happening here. That's what's happening with the city's new parking garage. It's going to accommodate even more redevelopment within the downtown. So we continue to work together. As Jason said, we've always shared information. All ships rise here in Brockton as it relates to development partners. And I see many friendly faces in the room, and we've worked collaboratively in the past, and we'll continue to do that going forward. And because the city is so ripe for development, and they embrace developers like Trinity, we benefit from that, and we hope everybody else will benefit as well. So thank you for the opportunity.
So just to wrap up, as you heard, we have the location, 30 minutes from South Station. We have the vision. We have the financing, the bankers that are standing next to you, and I heard money jingle over here, and state financing. We have the tax credits, and we have a multi-layer development strategy to provide incentives. We have buildings that are ready to go. And what we're going to do now is for those of you who'd like, we're going to take a look around. I hope that you talk to the people next to you. There's a deal to be done in this room. I challenge you to do that, and I challenge you to build here in Brockton. Thank you very much.